Hello, friends, followers, guests, family. Thank you for dropping in for a few minutes. I was born and raised in Oregon, in the head of the Willamette Valley, little town called Cottage Grove. I have family all over that area, friends as well. Graduated from high school there. I laid that as a foundation for my comments that up until recently, Oregon was my home. I saw what was happening in Oregon and I decided to get out. I decided that with the war that was happening in Oregon and continues, and it is a war. Look up the definitions of riot, then look up the definition of war. It's not rocket science to figure out which one applies. Excuse me. Anyway, with that said, I moved, and I'm in Idaho now. The strong interest I have in Oregon is I have so many families and friends that either directly or indirectly belong to me in Oregon with my foundation there. So I watch with interest in what's going on. And I watch your governor. She supports war. They talk about friendly protests while people are getting their face smashed in, getting killed the other day in that pro-Trump rally that started in Clackamas with a conservative getting shot and the liberals cheering the shooting of an innocent person. So we move on from there, and what I want to tell you is it's not rocket science. Look at the actual facts. Don't listen to the pundits. Don't listen to the Dondit. My comments, I call them Dondits because I try to base them on facts and evidence as opposed to my particular belief system. Look at what is really happening in Oregon and the primary population center, which is Portland and the surrounding towns. And then look at what your Governor Brown, and I have no problem calling her a queer bitch, because that's what she is. And some of those may think that that's homophobic. When I say queer, queer means more than the common concept of gay. It means someone whose thinking is really skewed and out of whack. She's a political animal, and she doesn't care about you. If you live in Oregon, you may become a statistic, and she'll never know your name because she does not care. For her, it's all about power and enslavement. She is definitely pro-government and anti-people, and you can look at her actions. So I turned to the sheriffs because of my practice of law in Oregon and dealing with sheriffs. I know that the strength and the backbone of Oregon rests in its elected officials, specifically those elected for your protection. We call them sheriffs. They're not subject to recall the way a normal elected official is subject to recall, or appointed official is subject to recall. They can't be fired. So you want strong sheriffs, and the strong sheriffs surrounding the city of Portland, when Kate Brown made her recent request for their involvement, basically told her in politically astute ways, go screw yourself, which is what she probably does anyway. But the bottom line is Wheeler, the mayor of Portland, and Kate Brown, the governor of Oregon, have set up an untenable position where a war has raged now for over 3 months, and The people of Oregon who aren't directly involved in that shrug their shoulders and they go on about their business. At least the people of Oregon don't think they're directly involved with that. Every time they have the opportunity to vote, they need to worry about how do they make their vote count. Who is going to vote in Oregon with absentee ballots or mail-in ballots? Oregon went to mail-in ballots a long time ago. And you have the abuse of mail-in ballots actually happening in Oregon. And because they don't prosecute and they don't convict, they say, well, it's not really happening. Look, nobody's going to jail for it. Yeah, right. If you're dumb enough and stupid enough to believe that, you should be a Democrat. You deserve who was it? One of the comedians, Will Rogers, political comedian, who said something to the effect that you get and you deserve the government you voted for. And you people in Oregon, I was smart enough to get out. For those of you that have stayed, live with it. Figure out how you're going to keep from getting killed by it. Anyway, the sheriffs have a unique power within their jurisdictions because they are elected and they are the elected enforcement, and they actually stand separate from the state enforcement at the local level, and they're the ones that are accountable to you. So you need to make sure that you've got good sheriffs who will follow the law. For those of you in Lane County, Oregon, all I can say is I feel for you. You got a real dumb shit for a sheriff there. And I could tell you a truthful story or two about that guy, but we'll save that for another day. Anyway, I wish you all the best. The purpose of this video, and it has purpose, is to provide one more little tiny tidbit to add to the things that you think about when you think about your family and your loved ones and being safe. I have a strong recommendation, and that recommendation is you carry a gun at all times. I'm still NRA certified. I still teach an occasional gun class in Oregon. But now, because I live in Idaho, I need the class to be larger if I'm going to travel to do it. I don't teach classes of 10 or 12 people anymore. My cutoff is a minimum of 15 prepaid. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not really advertising myself. I care. I want you to be safe. If you want to put together, I do Oregon, Utah. I'll soon be doing, and Arizona, and I'll soon be doing Idaho Enhanced. So if you can qualify for that one, it's one of the best ones to have. Here's the bottom line. Protect yourselves at all times. If you don't have a gun, get one. Your gun's no good unless you got appropriate ammunition for it. And get it. The magic things that you need to know if you're going to carry a gun is you don't use it unless you can look the jury in the eye and say, I feared for my life. That's number one. Number two, don't talk to the police after you've used it. If you make that initial 911 call and you ask them, what do I do next? When they start giving you the third degree, tell them, I'm not talking to you until after I've talked to an attorney. When the police in Oregon are involved in a shooting, they get representation from their union. They get 2 weeks before they have to answer questions or do anything so that they can settle in and get past the adrenaline of the moment and so on and so forth. You should do the same thing. So, I feared for my life or the life of another in your presence. I want to talk to an attorney. Those two things, if true, will keep you out of jail and prison. With that said, I'm going to wind down. I got my Trump hat on. I wore my Idaho shirt, and I don't care if the University of Oregon is going to play football. And I haven't seen a NFL game or even a part of a game since Kaepernick took a knee. That lying piece of shit, privileged individual who wants to raise awareness. Wants to raise awareness. Go to Chicago. Go to Detroit. Go to Baltimore. Go to Portland. If Black Lives Matter, if the state of the people that they call by color black, even though most of them aren't, if they really matter, then why don't they do something about it for real? And that's not white cops killing black people. Count up the deaths we have so far this year and see how much of that is black on black and is not cops. They're bullshitting yourself, they're bullshitting everybody else around them, and they're lying out their ass because I don't know what the because is. Probably getting paid by Soros or somebody would be my guess. Anyway, so much for the rant and the ramble. For those of you in Oregon, I feel sorry for you. My son is one of my sons is out here building a home. They're just finishing a really nice one, really nice, and it's probably in the low 400s for a price. If you want to move, Idaho has jobs. It has great people, and if you're a Democrat, stay in Oregon and feed on yourselves. With that said, until another day and another rant, I look forward to talking to you again.